There were stories told in whispers and static-filled broadcasts, in the dim corners of crumbling cities, in the lost sanctuaries where free minds gathered. All of them spoke, with fear or awe or hatred, of the Maestro. Once, heroes had fought for the world. Once, Charles Xavier had looked to the future and seen hope. Tony Stark had believed in progress. Captain America in the power of right. And at the center of it all, Bruce Banner had walked in the shadow of his own rage-fighting, in secret to keep the world safe from the might of the Hulk. But time, as it does to all men, changed Bruce Banner. War consumed the world. Bombs fell, and rivers turned silver with poison. When the ashes settled, the radiant gods and gleaming geniuses were gone. And out from the ruins, the Hulk rose, chained smarter, harder, colder. The Maestro, he built his empire on strength, on the ruins of New York and the bones of 1,000 broken heroes. His throne was a twisted monument of Iron Man's shattered armor. Thor's cracked hammer welded at its base as a warning. The world, or what was left of it, knelt. Above, the ash-coked sky rumbled. Maestro's citadel punched its jagged silhouette into the night, webbed in red lines of failing power. He watched from his hall of trophies, his gaze never softening. He'd learned too well. Peace without strength was a myth. The weak were prey. The strong survived, and none were stronger than Maestro. He kept counsel with ghosts. Once a week, Dr. Doom was roused by his guards and marched in chains through fallen halls. They sat, the Maestro and the battered Latvian tyrant, trading words like blades over chess. Doom played for freedom. Maestro played for amusement. Neither had friends left in this age. Would you have ruled differently? Maestro rumbled one evening, picking at teeth with a sliver of adamantium. Would you have spared the weak? Doom's mouth twisted beneath his ruined mask. You do not rule. You crush. There is a difference. Maestro laughed a rolling, thunderous sound that made the floor tremble. My world, Doom. My rules, in the wastelands beyond, resistance flickered, more legend than fact. Once, a group of survivors from Wakanda tried to breach the walls. They failed. Maestro kept their leader's necklace in a glass case beside a broken Captain America shield. Time was not kind to rebellion. Magneto, silver hair, wild and eyes hollow, came from the ruins of Genosha with promises of mutant ascendancy. Maestro met him, himself one vast green hand, closing around the master of magnetism's throat. Magneto fought with all the strength of his legend, but Maestro was too strong. He snapped the man-est spine and left his body atop the shattered metal of what was once a sentinel. His laws were simple: obey or petties. Cities became fortresses, each ruled by Maestro's chosen form of villains, lesser heroes, warlords who bent the knee. The Spider, once Peter Parker, lived as a shadow, chronicling atrocities from the darkness. Occasionally, Maestro would send a message. Another mask, another name struck from history. People learned not to hope, but time is patient, and cracks begin in even the strongest stone. In the ruined libraries of old Latveria, a small group assembled. Reed Richards, one half his old self, cloaked and spectral. Emma Frost, diamond-skinned old. Black Panther, his mantle passed to an elder, his pride undimmed. Here, whispers of revolution found voice. They moved with caution. Emma reached out with her mind, read with machines. Odd hints. Maestro's mind was unstable. Banner and Hulk at war inside the monstrous frame. Perhaps, they reasoned, old wounds could be opened. Not by force, but by memory. One night, Maestro walked alone through the Hall of Names, under glass-eyed portraits of those he'd defeated. Alone, because he wished to remember. Beneath each portrait, a single word: fallen, exiled, forgotten. He tried to feel, but found the ache of memory dulled by time and fury. The night when Betty Ross would have sung, or when Rick Jones would have told a joke, were as distant as stars behind nuclear dust, but in the silence, Reed's voice echoed over the ancient speakers, not as an enemy but as a friend or a ghost. You never wanted this, Bruce. the voice said. "This wasn't justice. It's just pain, endlessly repeated." "Let go!" Maestro bellowed, smashing glass and steel. But the words planted something. Each night they returned a sonorous litany of shared pain, lost loves. What made Bruce Banner essential to the world that was gone? Elsewhere, Reed and Emma watched and waited. They could not win with strength, but perhaps, if the Maestro's rage twisted back upon itself, if the last spark of Bruce Banner, a soul, could be fanned to life, they could save what little was left. There, in the high tower, Maestro sat on battered steel. For the first time in decades, he did not feel all-powerful. Felt alone. And somewhere, in the shattered world beneath, the first embers of hope flickered once again.